At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too. Because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, here we are. It is, what day is it? It's Thursday. It is Thursday, November 14th. We're almost halfway through the month, folks. Good morning. We are having coffee with yours truly, Coffee with Krueger. And everyone, all the regulars kind of checking in this morning. Lisa, Chappie, we got Ruth, all the regulars checking in this morning. So glad you could join us. And for all of you who are new to Weather NorCal and new to Coffee with Krueger, welcome to the most reliable and accurate source of weather information you can get here in Northern California. 25 plus years of experience right here forecasting here in Northern California, and you've come to the right place to do that. This is Coffee with Krueger, starts every weekday morning at 7 a.m. and you know, it's just a great way to start your morning. You can have it on your Roku, your Amazon Fire Stick, YouTube, on your smart TV, have it on in the background, you're getting ready in the morning, and you'll get all of the weather information that you need. Now, how we typically start all of my weather forecasts, including Coffee with Krueger, is with Krueger's Quickcast. And that's just a quick look at your forecast for the day, so you know what to expect. For those of you that are in a hurry and don't have time to watch everything, so this is just a quick way for you to get started here. So let's get you right into it. And I want to start with the amount of rainfall that we saw yesterday. And you know what? I think the forecast models did a great job kind of giving us those estimates. Anywhere from about 1/10 of an inch of rainfall to over 1/2 an inch. And where did we see most of the rain in the valley? To the north, out towards Redding. That's exactly what was expected. But look at the coast. Over 2 inches in Klamath and Trinidad, 1.2 in Crescent City, Eureka, 1.55. And then where we typically see less rain, off to the east, look at El Turris, only about 1,300. Susanville, only about 3/100 of an inch of rainfall. Now we're still seeing some cold and unstable air that's in place here this morning. That's giving the coast a few showers out there. Not a lot of activity right now in the valley. Looks like a shower just kind of clipping to the north of Redding there, and a little bit of shower activity in the foothills east of Chico, basically in eastern Butte County. But all of this is moving eastward. In fact, there is a disturbance that is going to be pushing through today. It's that line that you see right there, kind of indicative of what you would see with a cold front, but this is just a trough, and it's just going to be moving through. It's a weak boundary, and that's what's going to help to spark up some of the showers and maybe a few thunderstorms. Look at the very bottom left-hand corner of your screen there. Lightning strikes. And that's something that is in the forecast here for today as well. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But right now, temperatures cool, right? Upper 40s, low 50s in the valley, 30s for the higher elevations. And we do have those temperatures in the low 50s along the coast right now. All right, getting you out the door this morning. There are going to be a few scattered showers here and there. It is showing you 8 o'clock this morning. Maybe a stray shower in the valley, Trinity County, maybe even an isolated thunderstorm along the north coast, even in the morning. Siskiyou County, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, you may have to hold off a little bit later in the morning before you start seeing any rain or snow. So you see that brown line, that brown dashed line, that's the boundary I was talking about. So along that boundary is where we've got kind of helping to spark up some of those showers and even some of the thunderstorms that we may see. That will slowly push to the east, much like that of, say, a cold front, for example. But also take note, all the cold air, and you can clearly see that, the speckled nature in those clouds, that's essentially what we've got. And that's what helps to bring us the scattered showers. And the Storm Prediction Center pretty much is painting in all of Northern California with a chance for thunderstorms today. A chance. I don't expect anything major as far as thunderstorms are expected. Winter weather advisory through until 10 p.m. Friday, basically for the mountains east of the valley. And this is for elevations above 5,500 feet. However, we could see snow as low as about 4,000, 4,500 feet in some of those areas. All right, taking a look at Futurecast. And really, don't take this to be exact timing of when you'll see the rain, but or even any thunderstorms, because thunderstorms just kind of develop randomly. And the forecast models don't tend to really pick up on exactly where those thunderstorms will go. But here you can see at 10 a.m. this morning, you see that line from Garberville up to Wairika? That's that brown dashed line I was showing you. That's the boundary that's pushing to the east. So by the noon hour, it's just beginning to approach the valley. But otherwise, scattered showers, maybe some isolated thunderstorms out there. By 2 p.m., now that line is from Willows up north into Redding and, of course, northward into Siskiyou County, where we've got more showers, possible thunderstorms, and maybe a brief period of some moderate to heavy rainfall at 2 p.m. today. Behind it, scattered showers and thunderstorms. In advance of it, scattered showers, possible thunderstorms. And snow somewhere between, say, 4,000 and 5,000 feet. By Thursday, today, 5 p.m., that's off to the east, and you can see some scattered showers. But things are drying out, at least for the valley, by tonight's snow off to the east. That could create some more chain requirements. Now, looking at the wind gusts for today, not a whole lot. Now, if you see an isolated thunderstorm, sure. But, I mean, that little anomaly you can see there down towards Chico, overall, we're looking at 10 to 15 miles per hour today. So not quite the wind event we saw yesterday with gusts over 40 miles per hour in some cases. So, you see the lightning strikes in there. That looks pretty ominous, doesn't it? But not everyone's going to see the thunderstorms. That's just indicating that there's going to be a chance. Otherwise, scattered showers out there across the board. Again, those snow levels on average between 4,000 and 5,000 feet. Looking at your 7-day forecast, I got to tell you, the forecast model kind of took me for a little loop, a little bit of a surprise as I was putting everything together this morning. And after I put the 7-day forecast and did my morning update for 6 o'clock in the morning, there was this, what? It looked like it was going to rain a little bit sooner than Sunday, possibly as soon as Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, depending on where you are. So I've got it dry right now for Saturday, but be sure to check the forecast either at noon or this evening. The noon update uploads at about noon, and the evening updates at 6 p.m. Check that because I'm gonna look at the latest forecast models, and we'll see if I need to include that rain in there on Saturday. It could possibly, and then that would probably continue into Sunday. And it looks like it may linger into Monday, especially for the mountains and the coast. And when I say linger, and by the way, Sunday's system, it is not impressive. And even Saturday's system is not all that impressive either, if we should see it as soon as Saturday. But you can see here, it may linger on into Monday before we dry things out and warm things up here by the time we get into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. All right, let's take a look at some of the cameras out there. Beautiful shot right now, Lake Oroville, North Forebay. What a great shot looking out there. Just some clouds out there this morning, but you can see some clear skies behind those clouds. You can see the sun just kind of peeking through off in the distance there on Main Street, Chico, on Highway 32. Let's take you out to Highway 99 at Neal Road. And can't see much in the way of cloud cover there, but looks like traffic is looking pretty good over there. And out on Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive, looks pretty good there as well. All right, well, today is Thursday, and we have got a new ag report. Jerry O'Lennon sent in this report from Chico, and this is kind of interesting. We're going to include a little bit of a history and at a particular ranch that you should check out at Patrick Ranch in Chico. So check it out.
Hi, I'm Jerry O'Lennon for Weather NorCal, and this is the Ag Report sponsored by Lassen Canyon Nursery. This week, we're at the Patrick Ranch Museum along the midway between Chico and Durham. The ranch itself is 28 acres. The museum is in the nearly 150-year-old Glenwood farmhouse, which has several barns and a priceless collection of artifacts. I am outside the Glenwood house with the director of the Patrick Ranch Museum, Yvette Zuniga. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here.
Tell us about the significance of this particular house. Why is it important?
It's important because it's almost 150 years old. It was built in 1877, and it's a beautiful home, and it's a museum that you can go through, and it's been restored to its original state. So all the furniture and the history of the Patrick Ranch and the house are all here for people to enjoy.
What kind of items will people see inside? What will they learn?
So there's several pianos. There's 3 pianos in there because back then that was a big part of entertainment and hosting. There's a beautiful dining room and a library. I mean, there's some phenomenal furniture in there to look at and to see how people lived. We also have some clothing that is on display to see what people were wearing at the time. And I mean, it's just an amazing house.
Why is it important to learn the history of agriculture?
Because as we become more and more populated, we don't have as much rural farmland, and this is a great place for us to be able to learn about how farming was done in the 1800s as well as early 1900s. We have a lot of different things that people can enjoy, like we have a blacksmith shop here where you see people working on actual blacksmithing. We have a vintage iron museum, which is old tractors from different decades. And then the Glenwood House, of course, of how people lived in 1877.
Tell me real quickly, how does it work in terms of tours, the cost, that type of thing?
We're open on the weekends, Saturdays and Sundays from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. And people can just come and they can do the tours. Our blacksmiths are here on the second Saturday of each month. And then the Vintage Iron Museum is open during our events. So people can come enjoy different things. Checking our social media or our website is probably the best place to get the information on current hours and special events happening.
Well, it was wonderful talking to you, Yvette. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you. And thank you for coming and telling people about Patrick Ranch. We want to welcome people here to learn and to enjoy this amazing property because you really feel the history and the passion that people have for being here.
And there's your Ag Report. I'm Jerry O'Lennon for Weather NorCal.
Oh, well, there you go. How you doing? Yeah, so I thought that was really interesting. You know, it wasn't like 100% agriculture, but really interesting because I'd never heard of that before. And I think it's one of those things where I may eventually want to go out there and check it out. I mean, who doesn't love a good little history lesson, especially the local area, when you can really get that history of the local area and go out to a nice big ranch out there in the Chico area. I'm sure it is a beautiful sight. So yeah, be sure to check that out. Should be rather interesting. Once again, I want to thank Lassen Canyon Nursery for their sponsorship of the NorCal Ag Report. I wouldn't be able to bring you these ag reports without their help and their sponsorship. So thanks again to Lassen Canyon Nursery. All right, well, we are getting ready to kind of just get ourselves into the deeper dive forecast. I do want to just check in with some of you here this morning. We've got Curtis Brown checking in this morning. He is saying, good morning and good morning to everyone, according to Curtis Brown. Oops, I did the wrong one. That's what I did. Something. We'll get to it. There it is. He's saying, good morning, Mike and everyone. He measured 2,500 7-inch of rain yesterday. It's about 7 miles west of Red Bluff. And not surprising, looks like they did see a decent amount of rain, but most of the rain was in the north end of the valley around the Redding area. This is kind of interesting coming in from Callie. She's mentioning that there's no snow yet out at Lake McCumber. It was interesting because this storm, for the most part, was expected to pack a bigger punch than the one on Monday. And really, it did, but not necessarily for everyone. Like, for example, Lake McCumber, where we did see some of that snow with Monday's system. Around the Viola area as well, right? But not so much, it sounds like, according to Callie. But we did see chain requirements on Highway 89 east of Mount Shasta as you're heading towards McLeod. You could see just the backup of the traffic, a lot of snow up at that elevation, and we saw a ton of snow at Mount Shasta Ski Park. And then, of course, there were some very gusty winds. There were power outages around the Willow Creek area westward on Highway 299, and also some power outages south of Eureka down to the Ferndale area. Not a ton, right? And that's exactly what I was kind of talking about yesterday, is that this storm is going to pack a punch for some, but it's not Armageddon, and it certainly wasn't. And we did see a good amount of rainfall in many areas here. We have got Siskiyou Pass yesterday coming in from David Hossman was intense yesterday. Saw many crashes, lightning at 9:25 p.m. east of Reading. How cool is that? Thank you for that report, David. Yeah, I mean, I was looking at some of the cameras coming in from Oregon, and I mean, traffic was just backed up. It was big rigs, and I'm sure maybe your big rig was maybe in one of those shots there, David. But yeah, I cannot imagine having to deal with that. So my sympathies to you, David, for having to deal with that. But hey, you got to do what you got to do, right, to pay the bills and drive that truck, right? We've got... all right, looks like that's about it here. We've got Allie Dunn, just kind of a fun little comment here. Good morning, all. Loving these cooler temperatures and rainy days. And we've also got a report coming in from Tracy saying, good morning, lots of rain in MacArthur yesterday and last night, as expected, right? So again, I would say that for the most part, the storm did pack a bigger punch for most of Northern California, but there were a few areas that just didn't quite feel the impacts that we did with Monday's storm system. So I guess it depends on where you are, who you are, and that's the beauty of Weather NorCal, right? So many microclimates, and that's why I've broken up it into 6 different neighborhoods, and we can give you a little bit more a personalized forecast with that. So what do you say we get to the deeper dive forecast and get ready for that, shall we? Of course, as you know, Weather NorCal would not be possible and would not run without our sponsors. That's the bottom line, right? So I want to thank Wind River for their sponsorship. It's made possible by Wind River, Coffee with Krueger. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. And let's take a look at that radar out there right now. And you can see that the boundary right here, there actually is a boundary that's moving through this line. So this is just going to be pushing eastward. So eventually everyone's going to get caught up in this. And what it will do is bring us scattered showers and maybe even some isolated thunderstorms. So not only along that boundary, but in advance of it and behind it as well. And I'm kind of covering it up, but look at that. You're seeing some lightning strikes. That's along that boundary here. So these lightning strikes could make their way into the North Coast, could make their way into all of Northern California. I don't anticipate a ton of thunderstorm activity, but there could be some thunderstorms later this afternoon, and even this morning for some of us. Temperatures right now, upper 40s to about 50 in the valley, 30s, 40s for the higher elevations. For the coast, you're looking at temperatures in the low 50s right now. So isolated showers, thunderstorms, and mountain snow today. Weaker winds today and tomorrow. Unsettled weather pattern continues not only into the weekend, but through the weekend. And then dry and slightly warmer going through next week. So here's what I was talking about. This is the boundary that's moving through. As that boundary pushes through, it's going to bring us brief periods of moderate to heavy rainfall for some of you. It could spark up a few showers and maybe even a few thunderstorms. And you'll notice behind it right here, that's the cold and unstable air. See the speckled clouds? That is a classic signature of cold air in the upper levels of the atmosphere. It's also a classic signature of an unstable atmosphere. So when you have an unstable atmosphere, that allows for showers and even possible thunderstorms to develop. Now, one of the main factors to give us the thunderstorms, or 2 of them really, is along this boundary. And number 2, if you get enough clearing in daytime heating. So if there's enough clearing for the first half of the day, that allows the sun to peek through those clouds, heat the surface. That surface heat then rises in the colder atmosphere, or the colder air aloft, and we see clouds develop, we see showers develop, and if it's unstable enough, you can see thunderstorms as well. So kind of a classic cold and unstable pattern here for today. So again, if you see some clearing in the morning, just know that that could help set the stage for thunderstorms to develop here a little bit after those clouds kind of move back in. So again, the cold and unsettled air, it's moving on in with that flow coming in from the north and west. And that's going to be the case here today. The Storm Prediction Center is putting most of Northern California in that at least a chance for thunderstorms. And that's essentially what we've got here for today. Looking at futurecasts, let's walk into the timing. Now, I did put the park fire in there because if we see any heavy downpours over the park fire, that could prompt the Weather Service to issue a flash flood warning for that area, right? Because it's a fresh fire, or it was a fire that we saw this summer, and that typically allows you, it just makes it more susceptible to mudslides and debris flows. All right, so there's that boundary this morning. It's pushing eastward. Here's the boundary by 10 a.m. It's from Garberville all the way up to central Siskiyou County. And then by noon, it's just to the west of the valley. Could see some brief periods of moderate to heavy rainfall. And as I mentioned, in advance of it and behind it, scattered showers and possible thunderstorms. Here's the main boundary now pushing through the valley early this afternoon, giving us some brief periods of moderate to heavy rainfall for some, not everybody. Behind it, scattered showers, thunderstorms. That's also the case in advance of it. Snow levels, by the way, between 4,000 and 5,000 feet with these scattered snow flurries. Look at this, though. Today at 5 p.m., and yesterday, this same model was showing that around that time, we could see some heavy rainfall possibly make its way over the park fire. So we'll have to watch for that potential for mudslides, debris flows there, and you can see some of the snow. This is when we could start to see some more chain requirements east of I-5, say on those mountain passes above 4,000 feet. Scattered showers, could even see an isolated thunderstorm here. Now as we go into this evening, tonight, kind of see the flow is kind of doing this. So this is not moving this way. These showers are moving this way. So it's not really necessarily going to move into the coast, but this will stay in place. We'll still see the snow flurries, Modoc County, Lassen, and Plumas counties, and even making its way into extreme eastern Shasta County and eastern Siskiyou County as well. So again, you see what's happening? You see how these showers are moving from north to south, not necessarily into the coast. So at 6 a.m. on Friday, you've still got the snow flurries off to the east, maybe some of that in Siskiyou County and extreme eastern Shasta County as well. Then we go into about the afternoon. Now, some of these showers are mainly off to the coast here, right, off over the ocean. Some of those may make their way into parts of the north coast, maybe a stray sprinkle light shower tomorrow, but overall fairly dry for the coast. And then really by Friday evening, that's all gone. All right, things get a little bit more interesting by Saturday. This kind of actually threw me off when I saw it for the first time. I was like, what is it going to be coming in that soon? So that's why I want to hold off for one more forecast model run. So by this afternoon, by this evening, we can maybe set in stone as to whether or not we'll see rain on Saturday. And I'll show you what I'm talking about. Saturday morning, this model wants to show that it's dry to start. Through the morning into the noon hour, we've got another boundary moving through. Now, this is going to bring us rain possibly by noon on Saturday, really through the morning for the north coast. Everyone else, for the most part, still fairly dry. First half of the day on Saturday. Then, by the second half of the day, maybe a stray sprinkle light shower, but you can see how insignificant it is. It's going to weaken, but it's actually fairly chilly too. I think snow levels could be a little bit lower than even 4,000 feet with this one as well. So again, the timing of this is something we're going to, again, before I set it in stone in the forecast, the timing of this may hold off until Saturday night before we start seeing rain. That's what it's been looking like up until the Futurecast kind of came into this model run here, and we can see that. So we'll see. So stay tuned. Check the latest update at noon, and then again this evening at 6 p.m., or just check either one of them, and I'll have the latest forecast model data there. But by noon, I'm going to go ahead and set it in stone or take it out. We'll see. All right, so here you can see that as we look at this rainfall totals through Saturday, we could pick up another few hundredths to a quarter of an inch of rainfall. Just depends on who sees those heavier downpours today, right? And who sees those thunderstorms. Meanwhile, you can see towards Fall River Mills looking pretty good there, but only a few hundredths to about 1600s up towards El Turris, and really not even that much here for the coast either. So we're kind of, behind that storm system. So we're just not seeing a ton of rain and snow for that matter either. Overdoing it here. I don't think we're going to see snow in Bernie or places like that, but check this out. Check this out. This is what it looks like this morning out at Mount Shasta Ski Park. There's the snow that they saw yesterday. I couldn't tell you exactly how much that is, but hey, it looks pretty nice. A little winter wonderland out at the base camp at Mount Shasta Ski Park, kind of a sign of things to come. And we're not going to see much more on top of that. We're going to take you through Saturday, 5 p.m. This color right here, 1, 2, 3. So we go 1, 2, 3. That's upwards of maybe 2 to maybe 4 inches of new snow on top of what they saw there yesterday. And look at Scott Mountain at 5,400 feet in Trinity County on Highway 3. This was yesterday afternoon. Look at all that snow up there. Man, it was a mess on the roads for some of us, and that's why there was such a big issue with the snow up in southern Oregon yesterday, backing up traffic and the closure of I-5 in southern Oregon. So there you can see this morning, Scott Mountain may still see some of that snow. Looks like it could get a little heavy at times. And then even at 5 p.m., we're still seeing some snow there. There's Cedar Pass. And then by tonight, look what happens. It really begins to light up off to the east here. So if you are traveling in the mountains tonight, or early tomorrow morning, be aware of the fact that there may be some chain requirements east of I-5. And of course, we can't forget about Scott Mountain. There may still be some snow up there as well. Here's a look at the wind gusts right now. Boy, isn't this nice? After those wind gusts that we saw 30, 40, even over 50 miles per hour in some cases here. Today, not so much of an issue here. Mainly 10 to upwards of 15 miles per hour. That's a bit of an anomaly. If you see a thunderstorm in Chico, anywhere that you see thunderstorms, you could see stronger gusts than 15, maybe 20, even 30 miles an hour. But that's just over those areas of thunderstorms. But broadly speaking, we're not seeing a ton of wind. However, tomorrow afternoon, maybe a little breezy here out of the north here for the valley, but then those winds should die down as we go into Saturday. But there's that approaching system coming in. All right, so cool and unsettled is going to continue to be the phrase here for the rest of the week. So we go into Saturday. See how this model keeps it off to the west. It's not until Saturday night, Sunday that we can see those showers based on this model. Okay, and then we go into Monday. You see how that ridge of high pressure is beginning to build in. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday of next week, that high pressure builds even stronger. This acts like a brick wall. So any storm that's out over the Pacific, it just butts up against that ridge like a brick wall. Most of the energy kind of pushes up to the north, and we don't feel any impacts from that. So that puts us in the drier than normal and near normal category when it comes to rain, because once we get towards the end of next week into that next weekend, some models indicating that we can see more wet weather again. So it's kind of like the off and on again. This week, cool and unsettled, pretty much rain almost every day, dry next week, and then the week after that, maybe some more wet weather. But temperature-wise, we're getting more in that near normal category. It's been cool, but we're going to keep it cool through the weekend. But by next week, yeah, we're back up closer to normal for this time of the year, which is somewhere in the mid-60s for Redding. And of course, probably closer to normal for many of the higher elevations too. The wave heights are still pretty high here for today. That's why there's a small craft advisory. But the good news is it looks like those wave heights will start to back off a bit here as we go into your Friday. Winds from the southwest at 5 knots. They're your waves, though. You can see from the west at 14 feet at about 15 seconds. There is a small craft advisory for today. All right, so for today, looking at your Trinity County neighborhood forecast, stay tuned on Saturday. We'll see. We'll see what happens with Saturday, but for now, we're going to keep it dry. There you can see the chance for showers and thunderstorms here for today. 41 degrees for a high today in Wildwood, 41 for Mad River. Looks like Ruth, a high of about 46, and 47 degrees in High-and-Palm. For southern Humboldt County, 49 degrees for Miranda, 47 degrees for Honeydew, Red Crest, a high of about 51. And we take you up north. I pushed the button. Didn't go. Now it did. 55 degrees for Ferndale, 50 degrees for Rio Dell, 52 in Hydesville and Fortuna, about 53 degrees. So again, not everyone is going to see lightning strikes. Not everyone's going to see thunderstorms, but everyone has a chance. Otherwise, you're looking at scattered showers. A very good chance for everyone at least seeing for a brief period of time some light rain. Crescent City about 53, 53 degrees for Oric and Gas Key about 44. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, look for a high of about 49 for Montague, Side Valley about 52, and Hornbrook about 50. And we take you out to Scott Valley, temperatures mainly in the upper 40s, 47 degrees for Greenview, 48 degrees in Etna, and there's Fort Jones with about 48 degrees. 45 out in Tule Lake as we look at central and eastern Siskiyou County, 45 in Weed, 45 for McLeod, and Dunsmuir about 48 degrees. Your Modoc County neighborhood forecast, 45 degrees for a high today in Fort Bidwell, 44 for El Turris and California Pines, and likely a high of about 46 degrees. Let's take you off into the eastern mountains, and you can see off towards Beaver, about 42, 45 for Montgomery Creek. We've got 50 in Paynes Creek and 40 degrees in Old Station. Let's take you out to Lake Elminor, Lassen Park, where we've got those temperatures. Lassen Park, very cold. I mean, daytime high on Friday of only 25 degrees, but yesterday, I think it was yesterday, they closed off the road through Lassen Volcanic National Park. And they did mention that it may be closed for the season. One of those stay tuned type of things, right? But most likely it might be close for the season. There you can see, of course, in Chester, temperature is a little bit warmer, but generally around the lake there, you're looking at temperatures mainly in the low 40s. Let's take you to the south, and you can see Paradise, I have about 52. Could see a chance for thunderstorms there, maybe even Mineral. Otherwise, just looking at those snow levels between 4,000 and 5,000 feet for today and tomorrow. Let's take a look at your Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, brought to you by Walgamuth Painting. About 58 degrees for Red Bluff. And again, not everyone is going to see lightning strikes or thunderstorms. It's just the chance is there. Otherwise, scattered showers throughout the day today. 55 degrees out towards the city of Shasta Lake, 56 for Redding, and 57 degrees in Cottonwood. Here's a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Now, again, stay tuned for Saturday because I may be introducing that chance for showers late in the day Saturday. The coast, probably sometime in the morning, possibly seeing those showers come in. But most of the day on Saturday should be dry in the valley. But by Saturday, late Saturday afternoon, Saturday evening, maybe some showers. Could see a chance for showers Sunday. By the way, for everyone on Sunday, Sunday's system is very weak, which is going to be associated with the system I was talking about even possibly for Saturday. But it's weak. It's not going to bring us a ton of precipitation. Monday, for the valley, I've got you dry. There may be some lingering showers for some of the higher elevations on Monday. Otherwise, dry for the rest of next week, with temperatures warming up a little bit as well. So it looks like we are going to see some of that warmer weather. And I don't think anyone's going to be complaining. I mean, it's been cool. I think there was somebody saying, boy, you know, I don't know if I'm necessarily ready for these cold temperatures. Some people asking for those colder temperatures, and now they're like, I'd like it to warm up a little bit. You know, there's a little bit of that chill in the air, and especially, obviously, in the mountains. Looks like we've got Catherine Schmidt this morning kind of checking in this morning, and she is saying, what is she saying here? We got it up here. Good morning. Oh, that was not the one I wanted to do here. Oh, here we go. Send. There we go. Let's try that one. We got Catherine. She's saying good morning. Rain all night. But what a beautiful sunrise. 39 degrees in the Castle area. Well, thank you for that report here. Looks like it's a chilly start to the day. We have got Tom. He's saying good morning. We've got Lori who is saying good morning. We love the good mornings, right? Everybody loves a good morning. And it is going to be a good morning, I would say so, right? So what do you say we wrap up the show here, take a look at some different cameras out there, and we are going to talk about, looks like some nice weather, especially as we go into next week. But I guess it depends on what you consider nice. It's all personal opinion, isn't it? Some people think rainy weather is nice. Some people think snowy weather is nice. It just depends on how you look at it. But get out there and make it a great day. And enjoy the wet weather if that's what you like. In the meantime, be sure to keep checking in through the day today for Saturday's system, because I'm going to wait for one more forecast model run before I set that in stone, and we will decide whether or not it's going to rain on Saturday or not. In the meantime, have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger Friday edition. Have a good one. Bye.